The Securities and Exchange Commission officially dismissing the civil enforcement action against Coinbase. Joining us now to talk more about all things crypto is James Lavish, co-managing partner of Bitcoin Opportunity Fund. James, it's interesting off that headline. Listen, you think about the Trump administration. Trump clearly campaigned as an ally of crypto. It's not just Trump, by the way. We always remind people, I mean, you look at his team, it's J.D. Vance and Howard Lutnick, RFK Jr., they're all fans. And the big move, of course, we saw after the re-election, the election win, was the crypto community saying, okay, we've got a new friend in the White House.
Yeah, we have an administration that is actually embracing crypto and Bitcoin in particular. And so it's not a surprise that this has been dismissed. We've got new SEC chair, we've got a new Treasury secretary, we've got, like you said, a crypto-friendly administration now, which is exactly opposed to what we had in the last administration, which was pretty antagonistic. So, Bitcoin had a solid run-up right after the election, and that was not surprising. We expected that, and now it's just taking a breather as we have risk off with the entire market right now.
When you say breather, what do you chalk up that breather to, James?
Well, there's a couple things, right? So we, first of all, you have just a risk-off environment in the markets generally. All the markets have kind of gotten ahead of themselves. Again, a lot of euphoria around this administration and deregulation and probably a little bit of liquidity that they expect to come into the market. So it kind of got ahead of itself. And so Bitcoin and crypto, Bitcoin in particular, has been the head of the tip of the risk spear for years now. And so when you see risk off, well, Bitcoin is going to kind of exaggerate that. And then all the other coins around it will be a high beta to that, so they'll have even more risk off. And so that breather is coming in and filling in that great run-up that was on pretty good volume, but there was no support there. And so you can see it retracing back to that 70, 75 level. Does it get there? Remains to be seen.
I know you saw that Bloomberg had a good stat. Make sure I got this right. Saying investors yanked more than $1 billion from spot Bitcoin ETFs on Tuesday, James, marking the biggest one-day outflow since the cohort's debut last January. Does that surprise you, that level of outflow?
Well, there's a couple things. So first of all, you had the Bybit debacle, right? And so
the hack.
Yeah, the hack. And so that's $1.4 billion got stolen. It was sophisticated, a social engineering hack, but so that kind of scared people, and it scared them out of the whole industry, and not surprising. So that's one thing. The second thing is you do have this, there's something called like a basis trade that you have hedge funds are buying the ETFs long and they're shorting futures against it, or some sort of mix of that, and they're trading around that arbitrage of that. And so you could see them unwind that trade, and that might be part of it as well. So it doesn't really surprise me that much, but it's just a new structure. It used to be you had to buy Bitcoin and go through exchanges like Coinbase or Kraken or whatever, but now you can buy them on the New York Stock Exchange. So you've got these big institutions that are playing in there that it's just different. So you have money moving out that you didn't have before.
You mentioned the hedge funds. In terms of those outflows from the ETFs, I saw some speculation that maybe it was also a lot of folks who are new to this space, James, and maybe they're kind of not quite used yet to the headlines and how volatile this can be.
Yeah, sure. So you have a lot of new players with the ETFs, and you probably have a lot of OGs, the original holders of Bitcoin that have held it from just $1,000 or a few $1,000s and have run all the way up to $100,000, and they're filing out as well. So it's a little bit of everything, I think, but it's not surprising with risk off across the board. This is to be expected.
So what's the catalyst that gets Bitcoin moving higher again? I mean, are there specific key kind of regulatory changes you're waiting for, James? Could that be it?
No, I think that you do have a lot of headwinds. You've got a number of tailwinds that have kind of accumulated over the last year and a half between the new GAAP accounting rules, SAP 121 being overturned. You've got the ETFs and the ETF options. You've got the new administration. You've got the possibility of a Bitcoin reserve, strategic reserve. So all of those are tailwinds. And those will incrementally just give Bitcoin that lift or that support over time. But is there any one thing that I'm looking for? No, I think that what I'd like to see is just a capitulation and get this, get this worry and this risk-off trade out of the way, and then that will be that time to, that's the time to step in. Once you have everybody feeling that sentiment being perfectly negative, that's the time to step in. We're getting close, I think.
James, great to see you, and great to see you on set. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate having me.